Dear students, today we are starting a new chapter, lesson 11, A Shipwrecked Sailor by Daniel Defoe. Shipwrecked, that means whose ship has sunk, jar jahaj dube geche. We are discussing that story written by Daniel Defoe. This shipwrecked sailor was Robinson Crusoe. He is the protagonist or the central character of the story. He was shipwrecked and he took shelter on a desolate island. The নির্জন দ্বীপে আশ্রয় নিয়েছিলেন জাহাজ ডুবির পর. And how he survived there is the content of the novel written by Daniel Defoe. The name of the novel is Robinson Crusoe. There is a short introduction about Daniel Defoe. Daniel Defoe was born in 1660. He passed away in 1731. Was an English writer and journalist. He is most famous for his novel Robinson Crusoe. A prolific and versatile writer, Defoe is also known for pamphlets and journals on various topics. Prolific writer means one who writes much. And versatile, that means he had many aspects, বহুমুখী. For example, Defoe, apart from writing novels, also wrote pamphlets. Pamphlets means short political writing, রাজনৈতিক প্রচার পুস্তিকা. He also wrote in journals, that means magazines. He wrote on various topics. Topics means subjects. That's why Defoe is called versatile. The following text is adapted from a section of Defoe's famous novel Robinson Crusoe. You should remember the name of the original novel. The name of the original novel is Robinson Crusoe and tells us how Crusoe, after being shipwrecked, found himself on a dismal island. Dismal, that means dull, dreary, without any inhabitant, বসতিহীন নির্জন. It also gives us an inspiring account of how he makes the island habitable with his hard work. Habitable means fit for living, বসবাসের উপযোগী. That island was inhabitable. No one lived on that island. But Defoe, to save his life, made this island habitable. How he made it habitable will be discussed. Actually, Robinson Crusoe, after being shipwrecked, the জাহাজ ডুবির পর, he took shelter on that island and he maintained a diary. And this diary tells us how Crusoe survived on the island. On September 30, 1659, I, miserable Robinson Crusoe, being shipwrecked during a violent storm, came on shore on this dismal island. Miserable, full of misery, sorrowful. Robinson Crusoe calls himself miserable because he was shipwrecked. His ship had sunk, all other crew had drowned. Only Crusoe had swam to safety. একা ক্রুজোই বেঁচেছিলেন. The shipwreck was owing to a violent storm. It was owing to a terrible, strong wind. He came on shore on this dismal island. Dismal, that means dreary. That means without any happiness. I call it the island of despair. Robinson Crusoe gave a new name to the island. What was the name given by Defoe? He called the island of despair. Despair means disappointment, হতাশা. He called it the island of disappointment, হতাশার দ্বীপ. I was almost dead, and the rest of my ship's company was drowned. Crusoe was on the verge of death, and the rest, that means the remaining crew, the other crew members, had drowned. They did not survive. I had neither food, house, nor clothes. Crusoe was in a pitiable condition. He was without a dwelling place. He was without a place for living. He had no food. He had no clothes. I feared I would be devoured by wild beasts. To devour means to eat up. Crusoe was afraid that wild animals would eat him up. When night came, I slept in a tree for fear of wild creatures. At night, Crusoe took shelter on trees because he was afraid of wild animals. It rained all night. The rain continued through the next day with gusts of wind. Only a wreck of my ship was to be seen at low water. Wreck means a broken part, bhanga ongsho. A broken part of the ship could be seen. I swam to the wreck to rescue and secure for my survival some food and other provisions. Crusoe swam to the broken part of the ship because he thought he could get there some food and other provisions, that means other things. I was able to collect some wood, cable, string, a knife, nails and a gun. So these were the things collected by Crusoe. What did he collect from the broken part of the ship? He collected some wood, cart, cable, tar, string, a knife, nails and gun. These were very essential things to survive on the island. I also collected a hammock. A hammock means a kind of hanging bed. Judonto bishana, that is called hammock. And some canvas with which I made a tent. He also got a hammock, he also got canvas. The canvas helped Crusoe to put up a tent. I got some ink and paper. I also found some money, but they were useless to me in this barren island. Though Crusoe found some money, though money was useless to him because the island was barren, nothing was produced there. We need money to buy things. If nothing is produced, then money is useless. So Crusoe found that money was useless, but the other things were useful. I was some 100 leagues out of ordinary course of the trade of mankind. Ordinary course of the trade of mankind, that means the course which men follow. Je পথ দিয়ে জাহাজ চলাচল করে মানুষ যায়. Crusoe was 100 leagues out of it. 1 league is a unit to measure the length of the sea. সমুদ্রের গভীরতা মাপার একটা একক হলো league. He was hundreds of leagues out of the human trade. That means he was many miles away from human touch. I was convinced I had to spend the rest of my life alone in this wild, desolate island. And Crusoe was convinced, that means he strongly believed that he would not be able to leave the island and go back to his motherland. He thought in despair, হতাশার সঙ্গে ভাবলেন, that for the rest of his life he would have to spend on that island. So our teaching learning process comes to an end. Read up to this point. I will send you the questions and answers. Read and follow the video. Thank you.